What's going on, guys? Bank Robber Games here, more Fallout 3, A Tale of Two Wastelands. And last episode when we left off, we actually came to the end of the Pit DLC, which is very fun, if a little bit short, so I recommend going back and watching that, and catching up on the series if you haven't seen it, because yeah, it's quite an interesting DLC. But in between episodes, very quickly, I did go back to Megaton, offload a bunch of our gear that we're not really going to be making any use of at the moment. We do have the perforator from the Pit DLC, but other than that, we're just wearing our badass armor that we got from the quest mod that we played, and it's very, very powerful. So we have changed our loadout a little bit. But this episode, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be starting a new quest, and it's something that we sort of come across before in getting one of the bobbleheads. We'll get this quest out of the way. That is going to be the replicated man quest, and we're going to be getting a very powerful weapon at the end of this. It's also a very, very fun quest, and also hinted at where Fallout 4 takes place, being the Commonwealth.
Oh,
So it's quite interesting for that reason as well. So there's this character here, Zimmer, that we heard previously talking to this scientist about a missing android, and that's basically where this quest starts off.
you there. What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire? This could be an opportunity of a lifetime for you. I've misplaced some very sensitive property, and you will help me find it. How do I put this in a way you'll understand? All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, that's not all a robot can be. You see, in the Commonwealth, we've made artificial persons, synthetic humanoids, programmed to think and feel and do whatever we need. And occasionally, they get confused and wander off.
So it looks like we have a science check here.
Oh, I hadn't realized anyone in the Wasteland was so knowledgeable. And you certainly don't look much like a scientist. Anyway, my android must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found him by now. It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's not human. Don't upset him by talking with him. Just come get me immediately. I'll handle it. Of course! I have at my disposal advanced technology from the Commonwealth. I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think, you'll be the envy of all your friends. Excellent! Locate my android, and you won't be disappointed. Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking me. I swear, I'll make him pay for that. Of course you do.
Lay a hand on Dr. Zimmer and I'll snap your neck like a chicken bone. Then go.
I've always had the feeling that Armitage is an android. I'm not sure if you can talk to Zimmer and find out about him. Not sure where they're off to. But that does give us the quest, the replicated man, and this is probably one of my favourite quests in the game, and has a good moral choice towards the end of it as well. But we did get that note off Zimmer there.
Zimmer, by the time you get this message, I'll already be gone. I'm escaping the Commonwealth. I want to live my own life on my own terms, as my own man. I know what you're thinking, that I'm malfunctioning. I used to think that's what caused the runaways too. But I know better now. Self-determination is not a malfunction.
It was so
I'm not just willing to
noisy
put up
last
with all the
night.
bullshit
I could
anymore.
hardly
I'm looking for
sleep.
trouble.
You humans
Troublemakers,
are
have
going
you
to have a
seen any?
Maybe a
full-fledged
quick
rebellion
fix
on
will
your hands
soothe
if you don't start treating us synths as persons.
Got all kinds
I
of
know you'll be marshalling the retention bureau to come after me, but I know all the tricks of the trade. You won't be finding me, I assure you. By the time you get this, I will be someone else. It's the price I pay for my liberation. My final act of rebellion against a system I no longer believe in. Goodbye, Zimmer, and good riddance.
So just a message there, basically hinting at this guy's got the mind wipe facial reconstruction, Zimmer
I'm
mentioned,
looking for trouble.
and yeah, a bit annoying that the other people were talking there during that little quest log. But it's quite cool as a quest that it doesn't really point you in any real direction to where to start investigating. But when you go around the wasteland, you'll be able to find tapes and sort of dialogue options with certain people that take an interest in technology, and be able to talk to them about the missing android.
Huh.
So the first person we're going to be talking to is Moira Brown.
Have you heard the so-called android recording? It sounds like an ordinary man. Here's a spare copy of that old holotape. It's a hoax for sure. I guess they sent those tapes to lots of people, especially people like me who are interested in technology. Boy, I wish androids were real, though.
If you're listening to this recording, it is because you're believed to be trustworthy. I hope that is the case, because this recording puts us both in danger. I'm escaping from the Commonwealth. I'm an android, a synthetic man, a slave. The men hunting me are ruthless and will stop at nothing to retrieve their property. I need to find a doctor in the wasteland to perform facial reconstruction. I also need someone who knows a great deal about computers. I need to have my memories erased and my face altered to look like someone else.
Just don't want this person, they look like they're running towards me, just don't want them to interrupt that quest log.
All of us here thank you for everything you've done. For us, it's the best we could do.
So there we have the mention of the android needing the facial reconstruction. I'm trying to figure out where they're going to get it. Then
Tears, no sorrows, no suffering, for in the division.
go into the clinic here.
I'm Doc Church, and I run this clinic. Now, before you go asking me for help, if you do bother me, you better be damn near dead. I'm busy enough taking care of people I actually like. Follow my rule, I'll keep you patched up, I'll keep getting paid, and we'll get along just fine.
So here we do have a couple of options to get some more information about this missing android. We do have this speech check here. We can also sort of bribe him with 100 caps. But then if we have medicine skill, we can ask about facial epidermal augmentation.
Damn stupid idea. That reminds me of this old hoax. Here, take a listen to this crusty holotape and see for yourself. Try not to hurt yourself.
Your suffering shall exist.
We now have a lipoplasticator and microdermal graftalizer. We just need to find someone with the skills and willingness to perform the surgery. If anyone knows of a discreet and trustworthy surgeon who knows how to keep his mouth shut, send him our way. Also, we need to find a circuit neuralizer to reroute the signal into the android's memory. Do you know any trustworthy techies?
So obviously hinting at fact that this did take place, and unlike Moira thinks and the Doctor thinks, it's not some sort of hoax. So we have a few more options of where else we can go to get some holotapes. One of the easiest ones I find to get to, because we get there in the main quest, is the Museum of History and going into Underworld, and there'll be a couple of characters there we can talk to.
Oh, well, would you look at that? We got us a smooth-skinned visitor. Ooh-wee, we ain't seen one of your type in a long time. Smooth skin? You know, because your skin is so smooth and tasty. Relax, I'm just kidding. But I had you going, didn't I? You're in Underworld, Smooth Skin. It's the only safe place for we ghouls in D.C. We're here out of sight and out of mind. The mutants leave us alone, and the slavers usually don't come this far into the city, so it's not bad. Really, the Brotherhood of Steel is the only thing we have to worry about. So long as we don't leave Underworld, that is. Bastards. They don't seem to be able to tell us apart from the super mutants. Or maybe they just don't care. They see us and shoot on sight. At least they have the common courtesy to miss most of the time. Still, bigots.
A little bit of a hint of faction we've seen a little bit of so far. But yeah, nice little bit of world building and showing about how the Brotherhood really don't like the ghouls here, even though they mainly keep themselves to themselves.
That's right. As long as you don't bother us, we won't bother you. Feel free to come and go, trade, sleep, whatever. Just make sure that you leave whatever trouble is following you at the door, because we don't want it. So enjoy your stay, Smooth Skin. Enjoy your stay. We got a nice little deal going on down here. We'd like to keep it nice.
So this is another character, this Winthrop character. Someone else you can talk to about the missing android for the replicated man quest. And I always like coming over to Underworld to talk to him, because he should tell us exactly where we need to go and who we need to talk to in order to get our answers.
It was old cranky Pinkerton who did it, over at Rivet City. One day I mean to visit him and chat him up about it. Let me know if you need something.
This is a nice quick look at an area we're going to be visiting and spending quite a bit of time at later.
Do you want to hear a story about the Wastes? Oh, why, hello there. You too, stranger. I know a lot of people around here don't take kindly to humans wandering around, but I've met a lot of your people in my travels. Oh, here and there and everywhere. I've explored all up and down the coast, from the Commonwealth to the Pit, all the way down to Crater Banks. I also do a fair bit of trading. You see, folks here, they don't have much of a connection to the outside. So I move their goods and caps out to the wastes and bring back in what I trade for them. Yeah, just east of here. Bunch of guys with guns are holed up there.
So yeah, just another character that mentions the Commonwealth there, and other areas that might be involved in the future of the Fallout series, I imagine. But we're just going to make a very quick detour and talk to Tulip.
A human. Well, hello. Welcome to Underworld Outfitters. It's been so long since I had a customer. Well, yeah, there's a lot of old pamphlets and stuff down here. I've pretty much read it all. It used to be part of the Museum of History. The exhibit that used to be here was focused on what happens after death, hell and whatnot. A lot of it was focused on this old book called Paradise Lost. It's about a guy who goes to hell. Pretty interesting stuff. I found a big box of copies of the book in one of the back rooms. Here, take one. Nobody around here wants them.
So we want to ask about that because that gives us a skill book.
Come back anytime. It's... Sure.
But if we talk to Tulip and look in her inventory, she does actually sell us a schematic for a railway rifle, and we've already picked up one of these, but this is another copy of it, so it'll improve our schematic that we've already got.
A pleasure.
I remember if we don't get any sort of audio log talking about Pinkerton. But yeah, that's just a quick look at Underworld, which is, like I said, a location we're going to be visiting later on to do a little bit more content. It does let us know where we need to go to complete the replicated man. We read Paradise Lost as well, will improve our speech skill. And then before we talk to Pinkerton, just going to wait a little while.
You've been rather busy lately. Asking questions, investigating. So is that it? You're some kind of investigator? A detective for hire? Or do you have some kind of personal grudge against an innocent android who simply wants to be left alone? Please tell me. I'd really like to know.
So after a certain amount of time, and I think after picking up 2 audio logs before getting the 3rd one, it triggers this character Victoria Watts to come and sort of hunt you down, and she's going to try and convince us to not carry on our investigation about the android, and this gives you like another way of completing the quest basically. But rather interestingly, she is actually a member of the railroad. But there's several other characters in the game that are members of the railroad as well. So there's Herbert Dashwood, who's one of the characters you can hear about their adventures on the radio, on Galaxy News Radio, and we sort of bumped into their companion Argyle that the series is also about, but unfortunately Argyle didn't end up too well, and that's to do with the railroad and helping people escape basically. And well, it's mentioning of the workers we saw in the pit, but you know, it follows the same lines of him being a railroad member. Tulip as well, that we just spoke to in Underworld, she's also a member of the railroad, along with a couple of other characters that I can't remember. But like I said, she gives us an option, or another option of a way to complete the quest.
Fine. Let's cut to the chase. My name is Victoria Watts. I work for a movement whose goals are directly opposed to your own, apparently. It seems you're trying very hard to locate an android my associates and I have tried very hard to hide. You can see how that puts us at odds. You really want help? Take this. It's an internal component from the very android you're searching for. Don't ask how I obtained it. Present it to Dr. Zimmer in Rivet City. Tell him the android is dead, and that was on the corpse. He'll believe you. Do that, and Zimmer will go back to the Commonwealth and leave that poor soul alone. Do that, and you'll have saved a man's life. Of course. If you help me, and thus the android, God and the universe will smile upon you. Is there any better compensation? You know what you need to do.
So I'm pretty sure that this character is one of the voices we heard in some of the audio tapes we found in order to sort of carry on with the quest. But if you do decide to do what she's asking you to by convincing Zimmer the android is dead, you don't get any rewards. I think you get a karma bonus, but karma's very easy to come across in the game, so we're not actually too worried about that really. So we've bumped into Pinkerton before when we were doing the Wasteland survival side quest, finding out about Rivet City's history. So this is something to mention, is that if this is your first time visiting Pinkerton, there'll be a lot of traps that you have to disarm, and obviously you can see the room is full of gas as well. So if any of them go off, they'll set off the gas and probably take you out. Also, that door is normally locked with a very hard lock, so you have to come in here through an alternate path, and I showed that off when we did the Wasteland Survival Guide.
Good. Stay sharp. They're everywhere. What are you talking about, boy? I don't know anything about any of that. And, what did you call it? An android? What's that? Fine, whatever. This android calls himself Harkness now. Comes in and wants a memory job. I took new memories and replaced his old ones. Don't believe anyone's done that before. Certainly not down here. That Commonwealth tech isn't all that fancy when it comes down to it. I'm also the only one in the Wasteland with the skill and the nerve to perform facial surgery. That android flesh ain't so different than ours. You want proof? I documented the whole thing, so I could rub it in the face of Dr. Lee when I need to rankle her feathers. I hate that snooty bitch. That witch ruined my life, but you're right. Who gives a crap about any of that? You want your precious proof. It's all in my computer. Here's the password. See for yourself. Hell, just take these pictures and this holotape. Straight from the synth man's lips. Just don't go telling Harkness, though. He won't believe you anyway. And you really don't want to see him upset. He can be a bit inhospitable. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm going to have my android army rise up against you and your human ilk. Sorry. Oh, sorry I couldn't resist. I suppose you're right. But don't worry, I didn't really wipe his memories. I just buried them. But you can get them back. All you need to do is use the recall code. Just say to him, activate A321 recall code Violet, and that will activate the hidden subroutines.
So we do have the option here of doing a facial reconstruction on us, and this does allow us to change the way our character looks, which is quite cool if you're not entirely happy with how you customize your character at the beginning of the game. You can change it here.
Ha! Why do you think? I wanted to crack open that Commonwealth can opener to see what was inside. There's stuff in there I'd only heard about, and even then I didn't believe it. I can see why that Zimmer feller wanted him back so bad. Don't let your guard down.
So you can access the terminal.
Yes, that's locked.
And basically just gives you a little bit more information about what happens, sort of process. And there's a character mentioned here, Braun, who we're going to bump into later, so it's quite cool how it sort of connects to the main quest a little bit. It's funny, his face doesn't actually change too much. It's more like they just give him hair.
And yes, I can see you eyeing it.
Right, if we look in our notes.
My designation is A3-21. I'm a synthetic humanoid from the Commonwealth, and I'm about to undergo a memory transfer. I'm here at Rivet City, where I've already had my face altered to look like someone else. I'm still getting used to the sound of my new voice, but soon I won't even remember what I used to sound like. I'm recording this at the request of Pinkerton, who performed the surgery and will do the memory transfer. It will be the final testimony of the man I once was, and still am, for the moment. I want to live my own life, on my own terms, as my own man. I used to work for the Synth Retention Bureau of the Commonwealth. But I'm done with that life. I'm through with being someone's property. I am not malfunctioning. Since when is self-determination a malfunction? When this is all over, I will be someone else. It's the price I pay for my liberation. My death is a sacrifice for my rebirth. Perhaps I'll fade into myth as the one that got away and fuel further rebellion. But I'd be lying if I said I was doing this for selfless reasons. I'm scared as hell, and running away is the only option I have.
I think the voice actor does a really good job for Harkness. You know, you can hear that he's a bit sort of scared and angry. And we do have the before and after picture along with those notes we picked up. Pinkerton's computer. But here we do have another choice to make. We have several options. We can talk to Zimmer and tell him that the android is dead, like the road member that sort of ambushed us wanted us to. We can also talk to Zimmer and tell him that Harkness is the android, and then he can reclaim him. Or we can talk to Harkness and warn him about his past. And for each of those options we get different rewards. If we do what the railroad wants us to do, then we won't get any rewards. But if we do what Zimmer wants us to do, we get a piece of hardware that improves our VATS cost for weapons. I think it is, or it might increase our accuracy in VATS with all weapons. Or we can talk to Harkness now, and then we get access to his weapon, which is very, very powerful. But then we do actually have an option to receive all the rewards, so we're going to be doing that. And yeah, it's quite cool. You sort of play them against each other in a way.
I'm a little busy right now. Is there a problem? What's that supposed to mean? Look, kid, I don't have time for existential debate, and I'm not interested in whatever religion you're peddling. Excuse me? Look, kid, you have exactly 5 seconds to explain what you're trying to do here, or you'll be leaving Rivet City by the way of the nearest porthole. All right, I'll humor you. But this is impossible. I can't be a robot. I'm a human being. I breathe. I eat. Hell, I cut myself shaving this morning. I was bleeding. Robots don't bleed. I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what to even think about all this. I'll admit, This is pretty convincing evidence, but it doesn't make any sense. How can this be possible?
So we're going to want to use his recall code.
Ah! My God. I remember. I remember it all. From before. Zimmer. The Commonwealth. The Institute. My God. All those runners I brought down. You made me remember. Why? How? Never mind. My God. What am I going to do? My life. Everything. It's all a lie.
So it's quite funny how the voice acting in the recordings is actually quite good. But when we actually talk to him, it's quite cheesy. But here we have a few different options. And if I remember correctly, in order to receive both rewards, you need to select this option where you ask him what he's going to be doing about Zimmer.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shove him into a very small box and send him north where he belongs. He is a security threat, isn't he? All right. I authorize you to carry out Dr. Zimmer's execution. Don't think this gives you license to run around shooting anyone you want. Just Zimmer. And that bodyguard, if he gets in the way. Here, use my weapon. I've had it forever. It's never let me down. Consider it a token of my appreciation.
And then regardless, as long as you keep Harkness's secret, he will give you the A321 plasma rifle.
Carry on.
But then we still have the option to take out Zimmer, or we can still report Harkness to him. So the A321 plasma rifle is pretty interesting. It's got higher damage and it also has a bonus critical hit chance. You can see the multiplier there is very, very high, along with the critical damage being very high as well. I think it also fires slightly faster than a regular plasma rifle. And then we do have our VATS perks, work outside VATS mod, which increases the fire rate even further. And you'll notice as well, it's got quite a cool Institute theme sort of paint job with the red pipes on it rather than the plain
Your shift's over.
Plain pipes. But we need to go and find Zimmer now, and a lot of the time he tends to be hanging around in the hotel. Yeah, here he is in the hotel. Sometimes it can be difficult to find. Sometimes he's in the marketplace as well. Yeah, a bit annoying really. So you can, then like I said, we do have those different options. But if we tell him that it's Harkness.
Harkness, you say? Yes. Yes, that makes sense. He used to work for a special branch of the Commonwealth Police, after all. And he's right here, in Rivet City? Excellent. I must wait, find an opportune moment to confront him. Thank you for your discreet assistance and continued discretion regarding this matter. And now for your payment. This combat module will directly affect your central nervous system. I think you will find it quite beneficial.
So we do lose a little bit of karma, but we gained karma for telling Harkness about his past. That does give us the Wild Reflexes perk, and that increases our chance to hit in VATS, so it is our accuracy in VATS.
No sign of him,
quite useful.
Let's look elsewhere.
Show that off. I'm not quite sure what the increase is, but if you like using VATS, it obviously helps and it's worth getting. Then we just need to wait for Zimmer to go find Harkness in the marketplace.
back with me to the Commonwealth. You're a very important android. You're just a bit confused. Your memories have been altered.
I'm going nowhere. I want you off this boat, immediately. I'm done suffering your nonsense. You want to do this the easy way or the hard way?
Of course we will be doing things the easy way. I have no intention of harming you. It's time to bid your farewells, Harkness.
Zimmer. That's it. You leave me no choice but to use force.
A3-21. Initialize factory reset. Authorization code, Beta 53 Alpha. Nothing I'd contact
What?
security for.
What are you looking at?
Everything looks okay here.
I heard that the city council is debating putting rail.
I've got the headache from...
Yeah, it's kind of funny the way the dialogue messed up there, but you can see they have a little bit of a confrontation, and then Zimmer resets him.
Our dealings are done. I must ready myself for the journey back to the Commonwealth. Now, if you don't mind...
A3-21. Awaiting initialization protocol parameters.
Quite sad, really. But like I said, it is one of my favourite quests. But looking at how long this episode has been, I'm going to wrap it up here, and then obviously we'll have to decide what we're going to be doing next episode. And yeah, I might trim things down a little bit because of sort of struggling to find people and whatnot. It's not necessarily the easiest quest to follow at times. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and been enjoying the series so far. If you have been enjoying the series, please like and subscribe for more, and then that way you won't miss out on anything. Also, any mods that I've mentioned throughout the video will be linked down in the description below, so you can try them out for yourself. But thanks again for watching. Always appreciate having you guys here, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.